الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. Respectful honored friends, as we all know, the month of Ramadan has a distinguished relationship with the Qur'an, as it is in this blessed month that the Qur'an was revealed. So in other words, the month of Ramadan is the Qur'an's birthday. It is a month wherein the Qur'an was revealed. And for that reason, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordained fasting in this month as well. The Quran, my dear friends, is such an auspicious and amazing kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله. That had the Quran been revealed upon a mountain, the mountain would also humble and shatter in awe of the Quran. From the awe of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the mountain would humble and would shatter had the Quran been revealed upon a mountain. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the various Anbiya alayhi salatu salam with his message of Tawheed. And each Nabi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was sent with a miracle which would be proof towards their prophethood, a dalil. Just the way if we were to try and establish a fact, we would need some evidence, we would need some proof for it. So the Anbiya alayhi salatu salam, they also came with various proofs. And these proofs are known as mu'jizat, as miracles. The miracles that the Anbiya alayhi salatu salam came with were those miracles which changed the original form of something, which was bringing about a change in the external of something. So what it would be to what it would become. So a change would come in the external. This was the miracle that they produced. For example, Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu salam, his miracle, and one of his miracles was that the staff that he had, his big stick that he had, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Musa alayhi salatu salam, وَمَا تِلْكَ بِيَمِينِكَ يَا Musa. What is in your right hand? What is in your hand? So Musa alayhi salatu said, قَالَ هِيَ عَصَايَ. It is just my normal staff that I use. أَتَوَكَّأُ عَلَيْهَا. I lean on it, so I make use of it of this nature. And I use it to steer my flock as well. And I have ma'arib ukhra. وَلِيَ فِيهَا مَعْرِبْ أُخْرَى. And I have many other uses for it as well if I need to stretch towards some trees to the leaves and pull the leaves for the sheep or so. Then I use that for that as well. So I have many purposes of it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then said to Musa alayhi salatu salam, that throw your stuff down. And when Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu salam threw his stick down, all of a sudden, suddenly, it became a serpent. All of a sudden he became a serpent. And what type of a serpent? Just not a normal serpent, but it was such a huge serpent that the serpent itself was like the size, its mouth was the size of a palace. That when it approached the palace of Fir'aun, it could almost swallow the entire palace of Fir'aun. That is how large its jaw was. So if the head and the jaw is so extreme, just imagine how large the body of it was. But the unique thing here is that a serpent, which is larger in size, is slower in movement compared to other snakes. But here it was so large, it was a serpent, but it moved as fast as a normal thin snake. So that's the amount of speed it had, despite the fact it was so huge in body. So when Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam saw this, Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam naturally became afraid of it, seeing what has happened here. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to him that do not fear. Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu told that la takhaf, do not fear it at all. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then told Sayyidina Ibrahim and Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam that hold it again in your hand. سَنُعِيدُهَا سِيرَةَ الْأُولَى, and we shall transfer it back to what it was. We shall transfer it back to what it was. Allama ibn Kathir rahimahullah mentioned that when Musa alayhi salatu wasalam picked up the serpent, he put gloves on. He had a piece of cloth and he held the serpent with that cloth, fearing that maybe there might be some venom just by holding the serpent. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala questioned Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam that do you fear the serpent, which he said to Allah, not that I fear the serpent, but it is natural that because I am a human being, this is Darul Asbab, the place of Asbab, and Asbab is that you take precaution. So in order to give tasalli, in order to give sort of comfort to myself, for that reason what do? Is I wear the mask. For that reason I take precaution. For that reason, Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu salam said what? I use a cloth just to hold it to give myself comfort. When Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu salam held the serpent, what happened then is, as Allah Ta'ala says, سَنُعِيدُهَا سِيرَةَ الْأُولَى. Unique thing here, we'll come to the actual point, that here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that we shall transfer it back to what it was. Here the word sirat is utilized. Sirat here refers to as surat. Surat meaning that it will be in the previous form, that when you hold it, you pick it up, it will be your stuff again. But there is a possibility that Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam would still fear that although body-wise it has become the stuff, but it still might be a snake living within it, it still might be venomous. So there will still be that apprehension that is there. Hence Allah Ta'ala utilizes the word sirat here, that we shall totally, meaning in form, external form, as well as its reality internal, both of it will be returned to its normal form. So you do not need to fear that there might still be venom within it. For that reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, نُعِيدُهَا سِيرَةَ الْأُولَى, not Surat al-Ula. But the word sirat for it, which refers towards the external, the surat appearance, as well as the internal of it. So the external and the internal of it will be returned to the stuff. Here this is one miracle of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. And this miracle affected what? It affected the zahir of something, meaning that which was a staff was transformed and that became a serpent. Elsewhere, another miracle of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam was that Allah Ta'ala would say to him, put his hand in his armpit, and when he would remove his hand, it would become light. It would shine. That whoever would look at it, their gazes would remain firmly glued to it. That's how radiant it would become. So Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam's miracle was that his hand, which was normal hand, now became radiant, it became LED light. It now became light, it became radiant. This was the zahir, the change that he brought about in this miracle of his. Then we take Sayyidina Shu'aib alayhi salatu wasalam, Sayyidina Salih alayhi salatu wasalam. His people asked for the most weird of miracles. That when they asked and they questioned the Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam, what is your evidence, what is your proof, can you do this? To which the Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam said, look, ask whatever you want and I'll produce that. That too from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they said what? They pointed towards a mountain. This is a mountain. Your miracle should be one that you produce what? That a camel should come out from the mountain. And that too a she camel. And on top of that, it should be pregnant as well. So many demands that they made. And you would have expected that if that miracle was produced, then they would all come into the fold of Islam. They made that demand. Sayyidina Salih alayhi salatu wasalam turned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All of a sudden the mountain started to rumble. The mountain started to rumble. It broke open. And from there the most astonishing camel exited from the mountain. It was so huge and his neck was so huge that when you would put its mouth in the well, it would be able to reach the bottom of the well. And when it would drink everything, khalas, everything finished. So the people, they would have to take turns, one day for the people and one day for the camel. And when you went to any field, it would eat in such a manner, nothing left for anybody at all, no iftari for anybody. Everything would be wiped out. That is how much it would eat. I mean, it was very unique in its style and its form and that. And it was a pregnant camel, exactly as they demanded or what they wanted. That is a miracle that Sayyidina Salih alayhi salatu wasalam produced here through the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here to show what the change he brought about in the side of that mountain, that was shown to the people. Sayyidina Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, and from the miracles of Sayyidina Isa alayhi salatu wasalam is what Allah ta'ala gave him such qudrat. That from the sun that was dead sun, he would take that, mold that into the form of a bird, and then he would blow in it, and it would become, it would become a bird that would fly from the qudrat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He would akma wa abras, he would cure those who are born blind, those who suffer from leprosy. He would go to the grave and say, Qum bi-idhnillah, they would stand from the grave. So he brought about this change in the apparent that which was dead would come to alive, that which was sand, that he would blow in it and that would come to alive. So the miracle of his, and this is same to the miracles of the Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam, that their miracle was such that it had an effect on the zahir of something, that they transformed something from what it was to something else. When it comes to the miracles of Nabi Karim sallallahu ta'ala wasallam, Nabi Karim sallallahu ta'ala wasallam was also sent with many miracles. To the extent that over 10,000 have been narrated and mentioned. Over 10,000 miracles Nabi Karim sallallahu ta'ala wasallam had been sent with. There were those miracles which had to do with the qawl of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the saying of Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the verse prophecy as well. There will be that which would be the fail of Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the actions of Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wasallam. There will be those miracles pertaining to people in general that many would benefit from. There will be those miracles which were individual as well, that Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wasallam individually benefited somebody from. Many riwayats wherein there was lack of water, and Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wasallam would place his dua, his saliva in it. The water would start spurting from it. Another occasion, Nabi Karim put his fingers in a container, and again water started flowing from there. Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam took his arrow, threw that in the wells of Hunayn, and that also started producing water. These are miracles many benefit from. There were occasions wherein Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala, Ali radiallahu ta'ala was ill, and Sayyidina Ali radiallahu ta'ala had eye ailment. Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam placed his saliva in his eyes, and Allah ta'ala granted him shifa from that. Another occasion, Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala had a bag with a few dates in it. Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made dua and blew in it, to which Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala gained so much barakat from those dates. That throughout the life of Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala would partake from it, would eat from it and give others. And then during the Khilafat of Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala, he would continue, whenever he just put his hand in it, and he would continue. He would keep on producing. He would eat from it whenever he would want to, give to whoever he wanted to. Throughout the Khilafat of Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq, and then again also throughout the Khilafat of Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala, this continued. And also till the Khilafat of Sayyidina Usman radiallahu ta'ala, spanning a period of over 30 years. This small bag that Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala, he would keep that with him. So whenever he would put his hands in it, there would always be dates that he would be able to partake of. It was on the occasion when Sayyidina Usman radiallahu ta'ala had been martyred. That's when he, in that fitna, that time, that's when he lost this bag of his. And he mentioned that there are those who are mourning the demise and the shahadat of Sayyidina Uthman, whereas I am mourning the demise or the loss of this bag of mine. On that fitna, this also came to an end, this miracle of Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which was specific to Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala himself. So there were those miracles that Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam also produced such a manner, which changed the zahir of something. But from all the miracles of Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam, 10,000 plus miracles of Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the ever living and the most auspicious miracle is that of the Kalam of Allah, is that of the Qur'an. The greatest miracle of Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam is what? It is the Qur'an. And every miracle was revealed for what? Miracles were revealed in order to establish and to prove to those who did not believe the prophethood of the Nabi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Quran as well. That when the Quran was revealed, those who were from the Arabs, they didn't just look at the eloquency of it, the kalam that was there, the nature of the words there, and take that look and accept that, look, this is a miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They just regarded it and took it as a book. So what they then challenged Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam is that, no, we want a miracle, and if this is your miracle, then make the Quran produce various miracles for us. Make the Quran one that is benefiting for us, that it will benefit us. And that is وَلَوْ أَنَّ قُرْآنًا سُيِّرَتْ بِهِ الْجِبَالِ. They made 3 divans in Surah Ra'd. That what it is, that if the Quran can do what سُيِّرَتْ الْجِبَالِ بِهِ الْجِبَالِ. That here in Makkah where we are, there's too many mountains around us. Because there's too many mountains, there's no fields, we cannot cultivate in that. So use the Quran, and if the Quran can remove, destroy and get rid of these mountains around us. That was one demand that they made. That it would do that. أَوْ قُتْيَتْ بِهِ الْأَرْضِ. They say if the Quran has the power, then by means of the Quran, what we want is that because it is very dry here, that enable the earth to open up and sprout out streams from it. This was the second demand that they had made. And the third was أَوْ كُلِّمَ بِهِ الْمَوْتَى. That we want that, look, our ancestors, Qusay, Kilab and them who have long passed away and died, bring them back to life as well, so that we can speak to them. Ask them of their experiences down under. That what's happening there, maybe they can speak to us and we can listen to them. These were the demands that they made. These were the ridiculous demands that they had made with regards to miracle that they wanted to see from the Quran. So as I mentioned to you, when it came to Zahiri changes, the Mishnah made that as well. He split the moon as well, and then the moon split, and the moon gathered again. Here they made this demand from Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And what they were expecting was, they wanted that by means, this is a good chance for us, that if we make this demand, that maybe our dunya will become for us as well, our dunya will be made for us, that we will get the benefit, that we don't have the JCBs to be able to remove, and a dynamite to remove the various mountains. We don't have the diggers to be able to dig into the earth, and we can't do these type of things. So maybe the Quran will be able to benefit us in this manner. So they made these type of demands. But what they didn't realize is, and this is a major point here, that the Quran was not the miracle to just change, bring about a change in the zahir of things around, but the miracle of the Quran was to change the zahir and the batin as well. To change the external and the internal as well. And that is how, that where they said that we want that the Quran should do what suyirat bihil jibal, that the Quran should remove and break and move the mountains. The miracle that they were not seeing from the Quran is that the Quran moved the old habits that were firmly embedded in the Sahaba, like that of mountains. They wanted the mountains to be shifted, but they could not see this miracle in front of them. That those who were so stubborn in their kufr, in their shirk, who were so firm in stubborn in the enmity between one another, and the wrongs that they were in the incorrect beliefs that they had. And their nature was such as well, that on small matters they would go to war for 120 years. those people who were so firm on these type of beliefs and so much wrongs, the Quran made a shift and moved them away, and habits which were embedded like mountains, and a habit is very difficult to move. You can move a mountain but not move and shift a person's habit. But here the Quran shifted the habits of such people. That is a change that brought about, which is a miracle that they could not see and notice that. The other demand that they made was that along with وَقُتِّيَتْ بِهِ الْأَرْض, that they wanted that the earth should be opened up. So why? So that water can sprout from it, that rivers can flow from the earth, so they do not have issues with regards to drought. But they could not see that miracle was already produced, and how that miracle was produced. That the same Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Allah Ta'ala created in them such malaka, such greatness and such change within them, that now the oceans or the streams of hikmah, of wisdom, started flowing from their tongues. That where they wanted streams, now here streams of knowledge, streams of wisdom started flowing from their tongues. And this is something which is of benefit to a person both in this world and the hereafter. When it comes to streams, Allah Ta'ala over and over in the Quran, when Allah Ta'ala describes Jannat, what is the common factor that Allah Ta'ala utilizes in the Quran when describing Jannat? تَجْرِي مِن تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارِ. Over and over Allah Ta'ala mentions, when He mentioning Jannat, Allah Ta'ala is mentioning what? The Nahr, the rivers that flow in Jannat. And the rivers that will flow in Jannat, that of water, that of milk, of sharab, of honey. These are unique rivers that will flow in Jannat. And the honey will be sweeter than the honey here. The milk will not be like the milk here in this world, that a person may not be inclined towards milk here, but the milk will be very tasty. People will enjoy from it. And the water will be sweet as well. The sharab, the khamar that will be there will be sharab, which does not intoxicate a person. There will be enjoyment in it, but it will not intoxicate. But this is for who? This is for those who didn't become intoxicated and dreamt of and sort of hallucinating of Jannat in this world. For them is the reality of Jannat in the hereafter. Because there are those who just hallucinate that they are already in Jannat because of the khamar that they take. They'll be deprived unless they make tawbah. Hence in Jannat, one of the streams and the lakes or the streams in Jannat is called Salsabil. It is called Salsabil. This is murakkab of Sal and Sabil. In Arabic, Sal means to question. Sabil means path, fi sabilillah, path. So Salsabil, why is it called Salsabil? Because when the Jannatis will drink from it, they will gain so much enjoyment in drinking from that water, that they will ask that is there any more that we can do in order to acquire greater qurb with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that is called Salsabil, because Sal will be questioning. They'll ask that is there more that we can do to gain even closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We've gained so much already. And not that they're going to be discontent with that, but even Jannah they'll want that if we can acquire even more closeness with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what can we do? They'll ask the Sabil, what is the path wherein we can even draw closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hence this stream will be called Salsabil. Barhal, this was the change that the Quran brought about in the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala an, that now their kalam changed. Wisdom and knowledge, that now flew from them. And then the other was, أَوْ كُلِّمَ بِهِ الْمَوْتَى. They wanted that they should be able to speak to the dead, that the dead should be brought alive. That the dead should be brought alive. And that is the miracle that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did produce by means of the Quran. That those who are dead were brought to life. Those who in kufr and shirk are regarded to be those who are ruhani itibar says, regarded the spiritual self, are dead. So those who were dead in the form of the kufr and shirk, by them coming in iman, they became alive. Hayat came in them. The Sahaba Kiram radiallahu ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought life within them. Now they became, because of iman, they had the imani life within them. So the Quran did do that. It brought the dead alive. Those who were dead in the form of kufr and shirk, life came in them by means of iman. The miracles that they demanded and they asked for, that came and that was shown and emitted in them. That they became such, that those Sahaba Kiram radiallahu ta'ala who were spiritually absolutely dead because of kufr and shirk, but then such wisdom flew from them, emitted from them, such life and ruhaniyat came from them, and such a change came within them that the likes of Sayyidina Umar Farooq radiallahu ta'ala, who was from those who was also in shirk and that, who to the extent wanted to assassinate and kill Nabi Karim sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. But then he becomes such and he becomes so alive that now Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala becomes such that wherever Umar is, haqq is there. Umar thinks of something and that becomes reality and that becomes wahi as well. After tawaf, Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala said to Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Nabi Allah, I desire that the 2 rakahs should be performed here by Maqam Ibrahim, and not long after that the Maghrib Salat, and after that وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مَقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ Musalla was revealed. This is one of so many examples where Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala expressed a concern or expressed an opinion, and that opinion of Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala became what? It became wahi. This is the miracle of the Qur'an. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by means of the Qur'an, He brought a change in the external as well as the internal. That they gained such farasa, such understanding, deep connection. On one occasion, Sayyidina Ali radiallahu ta'ala mentioned that he saw a dream. And what dream? He says in dream that we read Fajr Salat with Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Then after Fajr Salat, Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam turned his face towards us, and Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he rested. And he took support of the wall behind him, and whilst he was sat there, a basket of dates, khajur, were brought to Nabi Karim sallallahu ta'ala sallam. And Nabi Karim sallallahu ta'ala sallam distributed those khajur, those dates to everybody who was there. So all those who were there got one date. And when my turn came, one was given to me as well. And when I ate it, it was so delicious. It was extremely delicious that I wish that if only Nabi Karim sallallahu ta'ala sallam would give me another one. And if only Nabi Karim sallallahu ta'ala sallam would give me another one. He said that I had this desire that if only I could have another one. And in that, then my eyes awakened. Eyes awoken. And then he goes, time for Fajr, he goes for Fajr Salat. And at that time, this was during the Khilafah of Umar radiallahu ta'ala. And then Umar radiallahu ta'ala, the Amir Mu'mineen would do the Imamat as well. So Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala would be doing the Imamat. And after the Salat, Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala turned around and he sat against the wall. And Sayyidina Ali radiallahu ta'ala mentions he turned and he sat just the way I had seen Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in my dream. And while he was sat facing towards us, a basket of dates was brought in front of him. And Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala started distributing those dates just the way Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did in his dream. And so my turn came and one date was given to me, and when I ate it, the enjoyment of that was just as how I had imagined in my dream. And when I had eaten of that, immediately a thought came into my mind that if only Sayyidina Umar would give me another date. He says, I just thought that in my mind, and Sayyidina Umar said to me, O Ali, had Nabi of Allah given you another date, Umar would have given you another date as well. This was the farasat of Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala. This was وَكُلِّمَ بِهِ الْمَوْتَى, of how those who once were so dead, you can say, that to that extreme that they wanted to go and kill Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, void of any spiritual, any ruhaniyat at all. But then how from that maut, how life came into them, such a huge change that came about within them. This is through what? This is through the miracle, the mu'jiza of the Qur'an. That the Qur'an did not just change the zahir, like other miracles of the other prophets and miracles of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam as well, but it also changed the batin, the internal of an individual. And this miracle of Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam is one that is still living. It is still living. And this asar of the Qur'an, the effect of the Qur'an of changing the zahir and the batin, that is still alive as well. Not that we say that opportunity has been missed, That is no longer available for us. We do have the Quran, but it cannot change us the way it did in the past. It will still change us today as well. And that's the haqiqat where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the Quran has that ta'asir, that effect in it. لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله, that will still take place. And Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi will narrate and see that some Christians were debating with some Muslims, and they had taken them to their church. And when they took them to the church, they had said to them that look at our church. Have a good look at our church. Look at how solidly built it is. How firm it is. There's no cracks in it at all. There's no breaks and cracks in it. It's so firmly made. And compare this to your masjids. Your masjids have so many cracks in them. Your masjids have so many cracks in them. It's not so solidly built as these. So they were trying to prove the point that because our church are so strong and so firm, that means we are on haqq rather than yours, because your masjid, look at the state of your masjids. This was in those days. So look at the state of your masjid. Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi was walking by at that time, observing what is happening here. And they said, what's the issue, what's happening here? To which made this claim that look at your masjids have cracks compared to this, which he said, yes, that is going to happen, because in our masjid the Quran is being read. Because in our masjid the Quran is being read, and that has an effect on the building as well. And if you want to have proof, Abdul Qadir Jilani, who Sahib Karama, recited this verse, لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله, pointed towards the church, and the church fell into pieces, tumbled and became rubble. That the Quran, this verse was never recited in your churches, that's why it's so solidly built. And now when it was recited with that too, from a sahib hal, that person who has that condition, who recited the Quran in such a manner, due to which it had an effect that the church also trembled and the church fell. This is the effect, and this is the ta'asir of the Quran. But that is only if we too were to understand the Quran, if we were to actually appreciate the Quran and be able to reach the point wherein now the benefits of the Quran are spurting out, that's when we will also benefit so much from the Quran. And this, my dear friends, which is the Shahrul Quran. This is the month of the Quran. And when this is the month of the Quran, let us attach ourselves to the Quran as much as possible, that we become so inclined and so attached to it, that we do not leave it after the month of Ramadan, that we want to continue and we remain with it. And how we can benefit from it, inshallah ta'ala we shall mention more on it tomorrow. But Allah ta'ala grant us all the appreciation of this great miracle of Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala sallam, this great asset that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted each and every one of us, because we all have access to the Quran. Give us qadr of the Quran. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.